In order to understand stress, we first need to understand why we have it and where does it come from. Most objects that move use sensors. For instance, cars will let you know when you're low on fuel and look out, even when a vehicle is too close. Our body uses sensors too. These sensors do many things. For instance, they can help us balance and feel pain or pleasure. These sensors are part of our peripheral nervous system. They take signals from the body, our extremities, and send them to our central nervous system. The central nervous system includes our brain and our spinal cord. Think of the central nervous system as our processor and/or decoder. Our central nervous system receives signals from our peripheral nervous system, then deciphers the code for action. The peripheral nervous system puts your brain in touch with the physical environment around you, allowing it to respond. Anytime you feel physical pain or pleasure, this is your peripheral nervous system communicating with your central nervous system, aka your brain. Part of the peripheral nervous system is the autonomic nervous system. What does autonomic sound like? Automatic. That's because our autonomic nervous system controls our organs and bodily functions automatically. Just think, when was the last time you had to consciously digest your food? Or the last time you were hot, did you voluntarily tell your sweat glands to start sweating? Thankfully, no. The body does this for you. Sometimes our body needs energy for a task and wants to speed things up and work harder. Other times, our body is in a state of relaxation and can accomplish certain tasks better when things are slowed down. The parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system are responsible for this speed. These two systems are in constant communication for controlling the state we are in. The sympathetic nervous system, or the fight or flight response, wants to prepare for action and go. The parasympathetic nervous system, or rest and digest system, works best when the body feels safe. This parasympathetic tone can slow down the body, like using the brake in your car. Speaking of, if your body was a car, the gas pedal would represent the sympathetic nervous system, and the brake pedal would represent the parasympathetic nervous system. It's important to note that both are needed equally. Without our brakes, we would be out of control and getting into lots of accidents. Yet, without our gas pedal, we would never get anywhere. In some scenarios, such as sleeping, eating, or studying, a parasympathetic state would be best. However, in physically demanding scenarios, a sympathetic state would be more advantageous. For instance, when you are in the fight of your life or running away to safety, digesting food, the act of reproduction, or studying for that algebra test would not be high on the body's priority list. So, our body increases adrenaline and sends blood and resources to our skeletal muscles by shunting blood away from our other organs. The stress response can also increase blood glucose levels for potential fuel. This sympathetic tone can also increase heart rate, blood pressure, and narrows our field of focus so we can concentrate on the task at hand, tunnel vision. After any given event, we need to rest, recover, refuel our muscles, and absorb nutrients for future endeavors. When the body knows it's safe, it's free to send blood and resources to aid in digestive and reproductive organs, along with hormonal changes. This is why we need two different systems. They orchestrate different phenomenons needed for survival. Unfortunately, the stress response is generic. So whether you are anxious about a business meeting or running for your life, the body has a similar reaction. If you are watching this on a phone or computer, most likely your life is not in danger at this current moment. However, I'm sure you experience other forms of stress, like jobs, traffic, heated arguments with loved ones, the list goes on. And as real as these stressors are, running away will not benefit or relieve the stress. However, our body does not know the difference. When our nervous system feels stressed, it reacts by preparing the body for intense movement. The central nervous system is only reading stress and reacts accordingly. It is unaware of what kind of stress. So why is this important? Well, the sympathetic nervous system is vital for human function. Acute stress can actually be good for us. However, our bodies do not handle chronic stress well. For example, when you are in a state of stress, your body will increase your breathing rate. In doing so, this hyperventilation will make our blood less acidic. As a matter of fact, making our blood less acidic is advantageous if we are preparing for intense exercise, as this response works like a primer for movement. However, if we are not moving, but still encouraging this sympathetic tone, the physical side effects of stress can be damaging over time. The body is preparing for something that never happens. It's like pulling back on a slingshot, but never firing. Once in a while, this is okay, but over time, that slingshot will lose its elasticity and become defective. Sensors that keep our blood pressure and respiratory rate in check will become skewed, and now the body's new normal is an elevated blood pressure and breathing rate. This is one of many ways humans can develop high blood pressure. This constant on the go can cause our sympathetic nervous system to be utilized more than it's designed for. On the flip side, the more time we spend in this stress state, the less often we can access our parasympathetic system or our brake pedal. And as the saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. That said, the goal is not to be in a parasympathetic state as often as you can. However, we should be able to access this rest and digest state when we want to slow things down. We all have stressful days and weeks and sometimes months. Sporadic short-term stress is not a problem, but long-term stress over months and years can have a crippling effect on our organs, sleep cycles, sex life, and overall state of happiness. How can you tell if you are in a chronic state of stress? One main symptom of chronic stress and/or an underactive parasympathetic system is poor sleep quality. If stress is affecting the way you sleep, this could be a sign of chronic stress. Other examples are high blood pressure and a high resting heart rate, shortness of breath or feeling like you can't get a full deep breath, also yawning or taking sighs often throughout the day are symptoms of stress, along with cold hands and feet. Cognitive side effects can include poor short-term memory and poor motor skills. Also, if you are easily agitated. Lastly, if you have any GI issues like constipation and/or irritable bowel syndrome, these can also be signs of a dysfunctional nervous system on the gut. If you would like ways to improve your symptoms and lower stress, watch our video on breathing techniques. These breathing drills are designed to access our rest and digest pathways. Changing how you breathe can improve your body's ability to hit the brake when we want to and slow things down.